Ladies and gentlemen, there is a toxic masculinity alert that you need to be aware of. There's something horrible going on, misogynistic, pig-headed and disgraceful. It's the man cave. Too many men go through their days working their jobs, working hard to ensure that the patriarchy lives on, and then they return to their homes and retire to that disgusting room full of misogyny. This tiny room with a bar fridge and memorabilia on the wall has been demeaning women for far too long, and according to this news article, it must stop. This news article was sent to me by a good motherfucker on my Instagram. Make sure you go follow it right now. It's at the Buttsman. It's the best thing in the fucking world. Anyway, it's written by a gentleman by the name of Chris O'Brien for Ravishly magazine or internet, whatever. It's shit. Don't worry about it. But what's important here is it's fucking hilarious. So let's have a little squiz, shall we? We need to dismantle the man cave. No, we don't, Chris. How about you shut your stupid fucking mouth? The private spaces men create and maintain themselves often breed toxicity. Man cave, supposedly a secluded spot in a home where a man creates his ideal masculine environment, has become a euphemism for a place where me and me mates can go and say awful misogynistic stuff without my wife, girlfriend or mum scolding me about it. Okay, Chris obviously has no friends. I'm sure that's very clear. But can I just say, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying a misogynistic joke. What's important there is intent. If you intend to be a pig, and if you intend to be a horrible piece of shit, then yeah, sure, maybe it's not okay to do that. But if you say a misogynistic joke intending to make other people laugh, who gives a fuck? This article just reinforces the idea that young men should be fearful of becoming men and young women should be fearful of men. It's fucking bullshit. It's just absolute propaganda is what it is. But alas, here I am, just merely a man. How can I possibly think with my tiny man brain about such broad topics such as toxic masculinity, male privilege, the patriarchy? So what I did is I invited my good friend and fellow YouTuber Sydney Watson onto the show, and she's gonna just fucking lay down some facts for you good motherfuckers.
Isaac, I don't know if you noticed, but your entire background is way too manly. You're gonna need to feminize it for the rest of us, okay? So I guess it wasn't bad enough to ban words like mankind and gentleman's agreement. They had to come for the man cave as well. The idea that male-only spaces are a breeding ground for toxic masculinity is absurd. And let's be honest here, it is sad and damaging that the term most associated with men and the things they like is toxicity. Much of society vocally criticizes men at every turn. And I'm not even a guy and I'm sick of it. But there seems to be this trend where we either attempt to disband male-only spaces or feminize them. Let me just remind some of you about the American university campuses that decided to restrict male-only clubs because they're exclusionary while letting female-only clubs keep running because feminism. Or workshops like the one that happened at a university campus in Canada where male students were asked to confess their sins of hypermasculinity. Because that's totally normal. Despite what you might think, that last one is definitely not a joke. But there's nothing wrong with having a man cave, and if anything, healthy masculinity is something that we should be encouraging, not associating with embarrassment or shame. And certainly not something that we should be attempting to feminize. And the truth is, we really should be asking ourselves which elements of manliness writers like Chris O'Brien don't find toxic. Is it toxic just to have the male space? Or is it men in general who are toxic? It's not surprising at all that men would seek out male-only spaces when they're consistently bombarded with all the reasons why it's bad to be a man. Asking men to give up some of the last places where they just plainly feel comfortable in exchange for feminizing them is not going to promote equality. It's going to promote resentment. So let me be clear. Toxic masculinity doesn't exist. The man cave is a man's space, and there's nothing wrong with that. And rest assured, in case you wanted to know, most normal women don't want you to feminize it. Because, fun fact, we already have our own lady spaces, thank you very much. And lastly, to the men out there. Don't let anyone make you feel ashamed or bad or embarrassed for being a man and for liking the things that you like. Or you could end up like Chris O'Brien, and believe me, none of us want that. Isaac, tell them. None of us want that.
Sydney, none of us want that shit. And you can go check out Sydney's channel. The link is down below. She does great stuff. Go and do it immediately. Now let's be humorous for a second and pretend Chris's article isn't verbal diarrhea. And let's have a look at what he has to say. It's quite fun. So how can you make this space or any man's space feminist? Well, here's how you do it, dickhead. You fucking don't. If you're a man and you read this article and you think to yourself, wow, that is a good idea, maybe I should make my man space, my man cave, much more feminine, then kindly go and get the biggest book that you can find, like one of those big old encyclopedias, maybe get a couple of copies on top of each other, get your balls out, put them underneath them, and fucking push the cunts down! Fucking soy boy. That was way too aggressive. But here's how us feminist men should change your spaces. Number 1, rename the man cave. Guys, it isn't really necessary to call it a man cave. Would calling it something else really take away any of the pleasure of enjoying the space? It really shouldn't. Fuck me dead. Calling it a man cave advertises to women that they are unwelcome in the most important areas of your life. Aww. Instead, start calling it a mess room. A mess room. Shut the fuck up, Chris. The poker lounge. Or the home theatre. Maybe just drop the man and call it the cave. Fucking righto, Batman. If you're a decent person and the function of the place really isn't to keep women away, then give it a name that reflects what it's really for. I can't wait to one day buy a home and put an area out the back and call it the mess room. That's the most stupid fucking shit that I've ever heard, Chris. And here's a little tip for anyone who's in a relationship. It's important not to be in your partner's pocket 24/7. I think women, I'll speak for women, they enjoy time away from their partner. And men enjoy time away from their partner. It's important. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, ladies and gentlemen. Get away from each other and then come back. It shouldn't be a fucking task. It should be something you look forward to rather than a chore. Number 2, rebrand the cave. If you now have a mess room, okay, honestly, Chris, that sounds like you're having a fucking bukkake party in there. Everyone's jizzing on everyone. That's fucking gross. Don't call it a fucking mess room. Is faded Bud Light poster of Pamela Anderson in a bikini from 1995 doing anything to maintain the space as a safe place to make messes? No. Well, sort of. That's for a man cave, not a mess room. Yep, birds on the wall. That's fucking disgusting. No boobs, you dirty creeps. Get in touch with your feminist side. Get a few tampons on the roof, nail a few bloody vibrators on the doorknobs, and you're fucking set. Number 3, restructure the cave. Break out of the binary gendered pattern of thinking. All guys are into this. All women are into this. That's man cave thinking, mate. You can't be doing that. Now that you've got a cave, invite people based on the activities that you want to enjoy. And make sure you invite more ladies. I hate to be a 12-year-old for a second, but I will for this purpose, and you'll understand why in a moment. Chris, you massive fucking virgin. A gendered binary think. Shut the fuck up, dickhead. The vast majority of men enjoy similar things, and the vast majority of women enjoy similar things. Sure, there are some outliers, and there's differences within that sample, that group, but overall, they all enjoy similar things. It's in animals as well. It's built into people's DNA. Shut the fuck up, Chris. That's what I'm trying to get across here. Invite more women. Yeah, g'day, Susie. Yeah, it's Isaac. How you going? I wanted to know if you wanted to come down to me mess room this afternoon. Yeah, just hang out. Yeah, no, I've got a new telly and some duct tape. I'm sure that a lot of women would love to go down to a man cave with 4 or 5 blokes and just stink it out. Like, what lady watching this wants to go and hang out with fucking 4 dirty blokes watching the footy? Chris's article goes on to say that we need to, as men, do better. But here's the thing. When he says that, all he's trying to do is put him as an ally to feminists. And the reason that he's trying to do that is because he's trying to get a root from women. And he can't do that because he's such a fucking pussy. And the thing is, the most perplexing thing about this whole situation is it's fine, it's encouraged, it's excellent and powerful for women to have women-only spaces. But when men do it, we're pigs, we're disgraceful, we're disgusting and horrible human beings. That is not good. That is not okay, and that is hypocrisy. So here's an idea. Let men have rooms, let women have rooms. Who gives a fuck? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to know from you. Tell me right now, down below in the comment section, what would you do to a man cave to make it more feminine? And the best answer wins a very exciting prize. They get my admiration. Hooray! Great work. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East, me dick stinks. And I'll see you all very soon. Toodaloo, au revoir, bye.